Yo, it's out. Yo. All right, here it is. I told you guys. I told you guys. I told you guys. But no one believed me. All right. No, I don't have insider info. Me, I don't even get followed by a grin on Twitter. I don't have intel. Trust me when I say I don't. Okay. I have zero contact. My only contact ever with Blizzard was lore, which doesn't work at Blizzard anymore. But anyway, let's watch this. This is gonna be about Phase 4. It just came out 1 minute ago. Fresh out of the water. React. Let's do it.
Stone, Associate Production Director of WoW Classic. Welcome to our Season of Discovery Phase 4 preview. It is time. At long last, we're raising the level cap to 60 and jumping into the endgame. For those of you who have been playing since launch, thank you for going on this journey with us. And to those of you just jumping in, now that the full level up experience is available, you've picked a great time to join us. I also want to give a massive shout out to everyone who has hopped into our first ever Season of Discovery PTR.
That's me.
To help us test and tune all of the changes and additions coming to classes. Your feedback has been invaluable in helping us prepare.
I'm gonna say, not to like ride anyone, you know, but the PTR was set up really nicely. You had vendors that you could like see the name of the enchant while looking at the vendor. Normally you have to mouse over it. It actually is huge compared to what we had during Rat PTR. Very nice stuff. I did appreciate it, just saying.
Prepare for what's ahead.
Nice.
That said, even though the PTR was focused on class,
also most of the items were in your bags already. Anyway, no more pausing.
You know, many of our eagle-eyed players saw hints at the content changes we're making to Endgame. And it's time for us to talk about some of those today. So, let's take a look at what we'll be covering. We'll kick things off with content at 60, then jump into raid information, followed by some important itemization updates, then dive into world event updates, as well as some system updates, and more, which you're definitely going to want to stick around for. All right, so whether you're already familiar with Classic era content, or you're experiencing it for the first time with Season of Discovery, or you just want a refresher, raising the level cap to 60 brings with it a ton of new content and things to do, including access to all WoW Classic zones, like the Burning Steppes, Eastern and Western
new
Plaguelands,
content,
Silithus, and Winterspring. You'll also be able to finally max out your character talents. In addition, the Alterac Valley Battleground will also be unlocked. Epic mounts will be available to collect, and more. Also, all of the classic dungeons will now be available, including Scholomance, Strathholm, all 3 wings of Dire Maul, and Blackrock Spire. And because the bosses have stopped spending their time in Phase 3 socializing in the Grim Guzzler Tavern, the second half of the massive Blackrock Depths dungeon. In addition, there just might be one more dungeon surprise we're not going to talk about today, but we're excited for players to discover. Switching gears to a quick note about runes.
What was that?
Since we've had the PTR up for the past few weeks, none of the runes are a complete secret. So we aren't going to be spending a lot of time in this presentation talking about runes or classes. However, we will be posting a rundown of new runes and class adjustments separately from this video, so please check the official World of Warcraft forums for that. Moving on to raids. As we previously announced, the Molten Core raid will be scaled down to 20 players. And
we already knew
adjustments
that,
to the boss encounters across the 11 bosses for you to take on.
11?
Just going to leave that there. We are very excited for everyone to...
Wait, hold on. 11 bosses? How many bosses are Molten Core? Lucifron, Magmadar, Gehenna's Gar, Gedin, Shazra, Golomag, the other guy that drops bad loot, Major Domo. That's one more boss. Okay, so there's an extra boss. That's pretty cool. I like that.
And get their hands on the brand new revamped Tier 1 sets that now have multiple variants for different specializations and playstyles that each class has access to. Tier sets aren't the only place we've made improvements, with many non-set items like also getting a
heat level 3 boss
well.
maybe.
Lastly, we are excited to announce that we will be having a scalable difficulty system in Molten Core, allowing players to turn
heat
up
level
the
1 to 3
inside and face ever-growing challenges. Some aspects of this system were visible on the PTR, and we've enjoyed listening to speculation and, most importantly, your comments and feedback around this new difficulty system and the potential reward structure. As we've been listening to this feedback, we've wanted to let you know that raising the heat level will not affect the quality of rewards. The quality will remain consistent as the difficulty goes up.
Nice.
Instead, it will increase the quantity
That's
of
good.
rewards.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, guys. Because like, if you just make it where the loot's better, then everybody's gonna force themselves to do the content, just like you see in Cataclysm, and you're gonna burn out. You just get more loot. So hey, more loot's good, but like at least it's the same loot. I think this is the way to go. A lot of people have been asking for this as well. And it's nice that they're listening to it. Let's just see how it goes.
Drops in the raid appear more often. In general, we don't want to heavily gate the best quality gear behind high difficulty content in Season of Discovery, as we really just don't think that's what the season is about. But if you do want to push yourself, you will find additional challenges and perhaps be able to gear up a tiny bit faster. Onyxia's lair has also seen some significant loot overhauls as well. And while Onyxia has misplaced her stockpile of Tier 2 helms, she is going to have plenty of juicy loot for you to chase in its place.
That makes sense.
We're also taking a new approach for raid size with Onyxia, as she will ultimately be tuned to be completed with 20 players, but the allowable raid size is up to 40 players.
Okay.
We love 40-player raiding, but we think it ultimately works best as a soda and pretzels type of content. In other words, the same level of difficulty you come to expect from Classic. So, if you are forming a pickup group and want to ensure quick success, you can bring 40 players. But if you are running with your guild, 20 players may make more sense to maximize your rewards.
Yeah, people did this back then.
Have had an interesting history in World of Warcraft, particularly in early versions of WoW, where they were hotly contested and created flashpoints for, let's say, interesting player interactions. While we love this intense competition in Classic 2019, one drawback to the content is that due to its limited availability, it tended to be content that most players never got to meaningfully interact with. We aim to make it a bit more accessible in Season of Discovery by instancing the content off and handling it.
I'm excited about this. I know some people don't like this, but I think
the raids will be tuned for 20, but can be done
more
with up
content
to 40
for everybody
to make it friendly to both organized groups and pickup groups. Related to these changes, and to talk all things loot, I'll turn it over to our lead engineer on Classic, Nora Valletta. Take it away, Nora.
Thanks, Clay. We're excited to share some of the cool new loot you'll find in Phase 4 of Season of Discovery. First, let's check out some of the new dungeon loot you'll find in Phase 4. We've got Iron Foe, which has had its level increased to 58 and now grants 18 attack power when equipped. Next, we've got Idol of Exsanguination, which causes your Lacerate ticks to energize you for 5 rage. Totem of the Plains reduces the cast time of your Healing Rain spell by 100%. Taking inspiration from players using the 3-piece set in Sunken Temple for Shamans, we thought it might feel bad to completely lose that set bonus as an option. Having it be a totem you can swap on and off for fights made a lot of sense here. Burst of Knowledge has had its item level increased to 58, its spell power increased, and its active
buffing the loot from
reduced
BRD.
15 minutes down to 5 minutes. Finally, we've got Libram of Holy Alacrity, which causes Holy Shock to reduce the cast time of your next 2 Holy Lights by 0.2 seconds. Our classic Tier 0 dungeon and Tier 0.5 dungeon upgrade sets have seen a full overhaul as well. In original WoW, a basic dungeon set of 8 items dropped in max level dungeons, and an epic quest chain was introduced in later patches to upgrade those items into a higher quality version of that set.
Yeah, the 0.5 quest chain.
In Season of Discovery, this is still true, but the upgrade quest chain will be available right at the launch of Phase 4, and each class is now able to choose between multiple dungeon upgrade set items that accommodate multiple class specializations as they move through the quest chain. While you will have to choose which variation of each set you want during the quest line, the other variants will be obtainable via gold and other means once the quest chain is complete, so you will have access to every set for your class if you want to try them all. These sets were testable on the PTR, and we've had a blast watching people get excited about both the new stats and appearances of these sets as well. But what about raid loot? Here's a quick look at a few of the items from Molten Core. First up, we've got an awesome looking Elemental Shaman shield called Earth and Fire. Looks similar to the rank 14 PvP shield, but with a
2.5k armor, that's crazy.
We've got Magmadar's right and left claw, which allow you to summon core hounds to aid you in combat. The 3 set bonus actually allows you to transform into Magmadar for a brief period of time. But how about Faithbringer, a 2-handed paladin weapon for healing? Or Key to the City, a caster staff from Onyxia. Finally, Obsidian Edgeblade, which has been changed from a +8 to 2-handed swords to a +3. We've added 1% crit with those stats and made it just a tad slower. Our dungeon sets won't be the only color variation you'll see in Phase 4. Here are some of the cool Tier 1 color variations we've got coming soon.
It's petty, man.
Why don't we spend a few minutes talking about world events?
The dog color.
The Blood Moon is not seeing any major adjustments for Phase 4 and will not be a vector for new items or player power. but it will continue to happen on its normal timer. We wanted to mention this because we are nearing level 60, which means that players will soon have access to the highest level PvP rewards, and many players will be ranking up to get them. In order to help with the honor gain process, we're introducing a new Blood Moon currency in Phase 4. When the new currency is introduced, Bloodstained Commendations will have had their cost reduced from 1 silver coin to 25 copper coins. We envision Blood Moon carrying on as an evergreen supplement to the normal PvP honor ranking process. If you'd like to interrupt your BG queues for a bit of quick, chaotic world PvP, my favorite, you and your group can venture into Stranglethorn Vale during the Blood Moon and supplement your honor farm. Next, we're making some significant adjustments to Nightmare Incursions, shifting the mission quests over to a simpler daily quest format. We really love the overall theming of Nightmare Incursions, but think these adjustments will help make them feel like an optional supplement to normal leveling, rather than the be-all, end-all leveling activity for all new characters. As a result of this format change, we are also planning to tone down the difficulty of some of the creatures within Nightmare Incursions to make these quests a bit more solo-friendly. The experience gained from these activities
it's actually
will
really
cap
hard
out at level 53 as well,
25.
but the quests will remain available through level 60, should you desire to earn a reputation. Overall, we learned a lot of great lessons for Nightmare Incursions, which we plan on carrying forward for any potential future events. And speaking of future events, for Phase 4's outdoor event, we've taken a few of the lessons learned from previous events and are applying them to a new, more lightweight outdoor event, the Blackrock Eruption. This event will occur every 2 hours and see additional spawns, daily quest content, opportunities for reputation gain, and increased honor rewards from World PvP. Outside of Blackrock Mountain, the forces of the Fire Lord are wreaking havoc. Join the Thorium Brotherhood in repelling these attacks with new daily quests.
I want to know what you do with the items you get from this. I couldn't find a vendor on the PTR.
Access to powerful crafting recipes and other rewards. Inside the mountain, you'll find your blood is running extra hot, causing you to gain bonus honor only within the mountain itself. As for reputation, we are adding brand new upgraded versions of the existing crafted rewards from Thorium Brotherhood, Argent Dawn, Timbermaw Hold, and Hydraxian Waterlords. We've also got some really cool for fun items that allow you to teleport to Ajara, lay a fire resist area of effect that your allies can stand in, or turn you into a water elemental. You'll be able to place these for fun items on your keyring, saving you some valuable bag space. Anyways, I've got some rep to farm, so
that's actually a good idea.
Pass things off to our senior
bag space
producer,
problem,
Josh
man.
Greenfield,
With so many fun items.
To share some of our upcoming systems updates.
Thanks, Nora. Going into Phase 4, we've made a few significant system updates we're excited to share. First up, we took a lot of the lessons we've learned from the Wild Offerings currency and have expanded on that system with a new deterministic currency we're calling Tarnished Undermine Reals.
Oh shit.
You can start earning these coins from most non-rare spawn dungeon bosses over level 55, and each boss will drop a single currency for each player in the group once per day per boss. This currency can be used to purchase a variety of things.
That's actually kind of clever.
Recipes, crafting materials,
so you don't spam the same dungeon.
As well as a variety of other valuable items.
Okay.
We've gotten a lot of feedback from players.
You do like a word tour,
to keep dungeon content relevant longer, and this is one way we're looking at keeping dungeon runs feeling rewarding at level 60. We're also particularly excited about a brand new feature to World of Warcraft Classic, a twice-weekly raid lockout system. One bit of feedback we got early on was that 3-day lockouts on raids was difficult for guild leaders to manage due to the inconsistency of when reset days occurred. In Sunken Temple, we moved the lockout to weekly to add a bit more stability, but we always wanted to revisit this to see if there was a way for us to provide the increased cadence and content availability that the 3-day lockout provided, but with a bit more stability and predictability.
Wait, can you raid twice in a row?
The twice-weekly lockout accomplishes this by having raids using this lockout interval reset twice a week on static reset days. For example, in North America, twice-weekly raids will reset on Tuesday and Saturday mornings. We plan to use this lockout interval for all the raids in Phase 4. We feel that with the pace of Season of Discovery, this is a great step forward to allow you to raid more if you choose to. At this point, we're approaching the home stretch, but we do have a few more updates to share before we close things out. With Phase 4 and the increase to level 60, players will begin having access to max-level world buff effects. In Season of Discovery, we're also planning to add an alliance equivalent to Warchief's Blessing, the Might of Stormwind. As fun as it was to skulk around the crossroads on our alliance characters, hoping for a kindly priest to mind control us for a chance at Warchief's Blessing, this should make getting world buffs a bit less cumbersome for Alliance players. As with previous phases, Discoverer's Delight will continue to function from 50 to 59, providing a 50% experience boost in that level range. We've learned a lot of great lessons about leveling, and while we want you to level a little bit faster, there's a lot of content in the 50 to 60 range, and we don't want to totally trivialize the journey in Phase 4.
I mean, it's pretty good, 50%.
Having a more nominal buff from 50 to 59 makes sense. Characters from 1 through 49 will still enjoy 150% experience increase as well, so it should be super easy to get those ults caught up. Like previous level up raids, Sunken Temple will give a generous amount of XP, so running that while you're leveling could give you a good bump as well. In Phase 4, we plan to allow blacksmiths and leatherworkers to swap their profession specs for a nominal cost. This will not quite be ready for the launch of Phase 4, but we do plan to introduce it a short time later. Perhaps most excitingly, we've done major overhauls to many iconic in-game crafting recipes, with dozens of recipes replaced or given a method to upgrade into even better versions of their original crafted items. First up, we've got the refined Hammer of the Titans, a two-handed mace with 2.0 speed that has a very hefty amount of feral attack power. It also retains its classic 3-second stun proc, which will now proc in druid forms. And who could forget the iconic Arcanite Reaper, newly upgraded and refined into a 4.0 speed powerhouse with improved stats and a very fancy
we gotta get that chat. Arcanite bars are gonna be so expensive.
These are just 2 examples out of many iconic crafting recipes to receive major glow ups in Phase 4. So get out there and get crafting.
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, sorry, my cam's
in a departure from previous phases, we've decided to space out the unlock of raid content following launch. Azergos and Kazakh will go live 1 week after launch, with Molten Core and Onyxia the week after that. Phase 4 is going to have a ton of compelling things to do right at 60, with a lot of new and improved loot to chase. We think that this pre-raid gearing phase is one of the...
Wait, hold on, sorry. So raids will be available on the 2nd and 3rd week of the patch. So you won't be able to do Molten Core on launch? Wait, that means it's July 11th. It's July 11th. Okay, 11th it comes out, but you can't do MC on launch. Damn, they're actually gonna... That's crazy. Okay. Wait, third week?
Best parts about hitting level 60 on a fresh character and giving that pre-raid best in slot process a bit of time to breathe and giving you some worthwhile goals to accomplish ahead of the raids becoming available is very exciting.
I wasn't expecting
provide
that.
You with a lot of great, satisfying gear progression leading up to those raids becoming available. With that, we are done with today's presentation. We appreciate your patience as we're working diligently to get Phase 4 into your hands. We really appreciate
Agrin, follow me on Twitter, please.
In recent PTR releases, and we continue to consume your feedback as we're finishing things up for Phase 4. As always, the WoW Classic development team is incredibly grateful for your support. Thank you for playing with us, and thank you for your feedback and participating and helping us develop this season. We'll see you again when Season of Discovery
it's on
Phase
the
4
11th,
goes
right?
live on
Or
July 11th, 2024.
11th.
Thank you and
yes.
goodbye.
Perfect. That's exactly like... That's the best date. It's the best date. Damn, there it is, boys. I'll link the video in chat. July 11th. Some big surprises. They showed like a new dungeon, right? Like, hold on. Look at this.
The second half of the map we're not going to talk about today, but we're...
So, what is this here? Is this like Kerosene? Yeah, it looks like
In addition, there just might be one more dungeon surprise we're not...
Is that Grom Hellscream? Wait, this is in Ashenvale, right? Yeah, exactly. It's Ashenvale. It's where Grom killed the Pit Lord.
Blackrock Depths dungeon. In addition, there just might be...
That's Grom Hellscream. You know it, I know it. See, this is his, like, memorial. Right, guys? Can't you go there right now and click this and it tells you something? That's him. That's him. I mean, he has Gorehouse, obvious, right?
One more dungeon surprise we're not going to talk about today.
Damn, bro.
But we're excited for players to discover. Switching gears to a quick note about rooms.
So it's gonna be available probably on launch. Yeah. Damn, bro, like... That's crazy. Like, do we have any more news? Like, let's go on Wowhead here. So we have a new word buff for Alliance. This is Might of Stormwind, which doesn't stack with Warchief's Blessing. So, if you thought there were gonna be less word buffs in Phase 4, doesn't look like that's happening. There's more word buffs, alright? You're gonna be getting the Might of Stormwind. Ugh. It's okay. Whereabouts are good for the game. They're fun. Alright. It's okay. Anyways. New fire resistance enchants data mined. 15 fire res on shoulders. 20 fire res on cloak. It really does look like fire res is going to be a big deal in Molten Core. And I really hope that Blizzard doesn't allow players to get the spell stealable buff from UBRS. Because, like, you can get an 81 fire res, 83 fire res buff for 1 hour. And that is more than all these fire res things combined. It's so broken. Nerf it. Nerf that. This is cool, you know, but like that shit, like the word buff for fire res thing is a bit cringe. What else do we have? Is that it for now? That's it for now, okay. If there's any posts, I'll look, okay. You guys excited? Like, that looked pretty good, no? Like, there's going to be an extra boss in Molten Core. There's 11 bosses in MC. There's 10 normally. So, what does that mean? Like, is there like a boss that is heat level 3 only? Or is it like on every heat difficulty? By the way, they said, so if you do heat level 3 instead of heat level 1, you get the same loot, but you get more loot. So, instead of getting heroic loot or mythic loot, you just get more loot. So like the difference between rating 1 and 3 is just more items, right? So like you're not like, I mean, it's better to get more loot, but you're getting the same items. So you shouldn't feel like pressured to like do heat level 3 if it's too hard, right? Which I think is cool, man. I like that. That was what I was hoping they were gonna do. A lot of people recommended this as well. Looks like they listened to feedback and they implement. That's great. We'll see how that goes. I'm a bit disappointed by this personally, but Molten Core won't be available on launch. It's gonna be 1 week later or 2 weeks later. I think most people are happy about that though. I just personally, for me, I do enjoy like rushing in and you know, leveling fast and going in the raid. But you know, I get it, right? It's probably better this way, so I'm not gonna get mad about that. It's all good. Yeah, so another thing they're doing is you're gonna be able to do Molten Core twice a week. So there's gonna be a double lockout system where the raids reset on 2 specific days every week. So let's say, let me explain, right? So Molten Core resets on Thursday. No, what was it? Sunday, for example, and Tuesday, or like Saturday and Tuesday, right? So I can raid it twice a week, but it's not every 3 days. So it's like static days. They didn't like the 7-day lockout, man. Yeah, that's crazy. So they must have gotten feedback from people saying that 7 days is not it's too long. People want to raid more. I'm surprised, man. I personally feel like 7 days is fine with level 60 because there's more raids. There's like, it's not just Sunken Temple. You have Molten Core, Onyxia, and World bosses, right? And then you have Blackwing Lair. I'm a bit concerned that it's gonna be too much for people once Blackwing Lair is out, but I think before Blackwing is gonna be fine. Yeah, we're gonna be doing Molten Core every day. Like, can you imagine my level 3 alts? It's Molten Core every day. Alright, yeah, yes, let's go, bro. Like, alright. I don't know, I'm a bit excited, man. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised by the delay. I'm surprised by the new dungeon, which might be available. Extra boss in MC, like a lot of new items. It's cool. It's cool, man.